And hello, everybody. I'm Kathleen Sherman, author of You're Not Crazy, You're Simply Divine. And this is my video podcast, and I'm bringing Jennifer Passavant, one of my soul sisters, on today. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me, Kathleen. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So what we're doing with this video podcast is bringing my soul people on, and you are definitely a soul sister for me and have helped me on my path. I mentioned you in my book, and because you've been instrumental in helping me move forward in my awakening when I was just starting. And so you've been doing this, you've been more knowledgeable about the spirit world and everything like that, more, sooner than I was. So I wanted to bring you on, talk about your experiences and see what you have to offer the world. Share.
Oh, thank you. Well, and you definitely have played a role for me too, because that's what soul sisters do. So I really appreciate everything that you've done for me, and for what you're doing for everyone else who reads your book and can get that level of inspiration and guidance and support from your book. So thank you for putting that out there for people.
Thank you.
So what I wanted to talk about was, because it's something that has still to this day made a really strong impact on, and makes a very strong impact on my spiritual path, is breath work. And the reason why that plays such a large role in my spiritual growth is because when I was first channeling the being that I channel when I do my healing work, the first thing he did to me, before I knew who he was, I didn't even know who the hell I was channeling, I heard "just relax." And I went, okay. Now, for a little bit of background, at the time, I obviously was not channeling. I'd never channeled before. I was not doing energy healing on anybody. I'd started my spiritual path, so I'd learned about angels, and I could feel angels, and I'd seen angels, and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't see me doing any of this stuff. I just was an admirer of others who did this stuff. So I was with a friend of mine who was an energetic healer, and he'd been doing it since he was a child. And he said, "Do you want energy healing?" I said, "Sure, sign me up." So he had me lie down on the couch, and he's doing his thing. And all of a sudden I hear a voice say, "Just relax." It was a voice in my left ear. And I'm like, okay, so I do. And I got put into a state. So this wasn't like, yes, I relaxed, but it allowed for this being, who I now know is the angel that I channel, named Ian. He's a Seraphim angel. And he breathed me. And so my breathing became very, very rapid and deep. And it would be like the breath of fire. If anybody out there is familiar with pranayamas, it'd be very similar to the breath of fire. So it was very, and I felt amazing. It was like, this is great. Keep going. This is spectacular. Until when your body builds up with oxygen, your fingers start to tingle, your legs start to tingle, and that's a lot of oxygen buildup in your bloodstream. And it started feeling very pins and needlesy. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who this is. Actually, I'm kind of not comfortable with this. So I'm gonna make it stop. So I made it stop. And after that, every time I would go, I kept being guided to go see energetic healers. And every time I'd go see an energetic healer, I would be put into that state using their energy, because I wasn't at a point in my vibrational state to do it myself. Mm-hmm. And so I found a healer. I was like, look, I know somebody is trying to get me to a certain point. Whoever it was that said, "Just relax," is trying to get me somewhere. And it has to do with breathing, but they have to let me go through this whole process of breathing weird until something happens. And I don't know what that is. So I found this wonderful healer who thankfully agreed to do this. And again, he put me in this state, and it was a lot of that heavy breathing until I saw this white light shoot out through my energetic system and out the top of my head. And so, there are a lot of people out there that teach that type of like holotropic breathing, Wim Hof, blah, blah, blah. I don't recommend trying to do that type of breathing at home, because you can pass out and whatnot, or at least have someone who knows make sure you've got someone there who can keep an eye on you. Like, don't try that at home. And I didn't know about it. I didn't know what holotropic breathing was. I didn't know who Wim Hof was. So I'm just like, sure, go ahead. But I would not recommend that for anybody else. I let the angel do it. Yes. But that allowed my vibration to go up high enough where my Kundalini rose. And then after that, every time I would meditate, I would be put in that state. But he would again, then I would be breathed, where he would breathe me, because the breathing, I didn't realize at the time, had such an impact on your vibrational state and your level of soulful elevation. But the more deeply you breathe and the more oxygen you can get into your system. Now, granted, there's such a thing as too much oxygen, but prana and chi and spirit energy rise on oxygen. So that's why pranayamas in yoga and all of these, qigong and all these ancient traditions use breathing. And so to kind of bring it back to where after I started being able to channel him, I mean, I went through all kinds of weird experiences using that kind of hyperventilating type breath. And when I say that, I mean, he did that to me to get me to the state. After that, he then guided me to these other types of breath work that anybody can do that allow you to get in lots of oxygen, but not using the type of breathing that hyperventilates, but it allows you to slow your breathing, which slows your brain waves, and it massages the vagus nerve, so it relaxes your nervous system. And that's why pranayamas and types of breath work are so integral to meditation. But holy crap balls, does it affect your then ability to hold energy and hold light. And so that's, to this day, when I sit and meditate, I go into a specific breathing pattern that allows me to do that. And the first part of the pattern is called pranic breathing. And I learned this when I was guided to learn pranic healing. And it's basically when you inhale for a count of 6, you hold for a count of 3, you exhale for a count of 6, and you hold for a count of 3. Now you can do 8-4, 8-4, 5-10, 5-10, whatever it is, but you want your holds to be half as long as your inhales and your exhalations. And then he guided me to learn the Durga breath, which is also called whole lung breathing, or the pranic 3-part breath. And that's where you not only breathe in diaphragmatically, so you breathe in with your diaphragm, but then you breathe into your chest and then into the upper part of your lungs, so your shoulders will go up. Then you pair that with the pranic breathing. So when you're doing those inhalations and holds, you're inhaling with that wave-like 3-part breath. But then to slow the breath, he guided me to add the Ujjayi breath, which is where you lower the soft palate in the back of your throat and you hear that sort of hissing sound. So it's sort of like when you're a mom and you walk in, your kid's coloring on the wall, and you go, and you hiss in the back of your throat. That's that. And you can do it on your inhalation and exhalation, and it just creates resistance. And that hiss comes from the air hitting your soft palate, that it creates resistance and it slows the breath. And you put those 3 together, and holy crap balls, it's like that's when you start seeing the colors. You might start to see the faces. Your whole system relaxes. Your eyes might wiggle because your brainwave is shifted. Your eyes, mine automatically cross and go up and look at my third eye. I mean, all kinds of stuff starts happening. But the great thing is the breathing then becomes your focus, because a lot of people are like, well, I can't meditate because I can't focus. Oh, you'll focus. You'll be focusing. You're either counting your breath, or you're listening to or feeling your breath. But I'll tell you what, for anybody who's on a spiritual path and they're looking to find a way to kind of amp up their spiritual evolution, breathing, breath work. Find the one that works for you, but I'll tell you what, that's the combination that every day makes an enormous impact. That was a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. That's the reason that we're coming on here, is to help people on their path, because we got, in places where we were stuck, there are certain things that will help you on your path. And so lots of people are going to need to hear this. So that's why we're talking about it. And you're helping others by talking about your experiences. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I would add to that too. So, how when you and I do energy healing, whether it's on ourselves or somebody else, we visualize stuff, right? We visualize the energy, we visualize the chakras, whatever. So the great thing about breath work is, because you're drawing in energy on the breath, literally just by breathing, you're drawing in energy. You can then use the breathing to direct the flow using your consciousness. So for me, when I pull energy in, whether it's from source or from source and earth or from source earth and like all of the elements around me into my center, I do it on the in-breath, right? And that allows me to guide the energy like I'm sucking it through a straw, right?
Yes.
And it just helps with the mental visualization. Then on the hold, it's like, you know, when you blow on a fire and it goes, right? So for me, on the hold, the energy spins faster or gets brighter, like it just goes, right? And then on the exhale, you can blow it up like a balloon, right? You can expand it through your system. So to pair for people who are looking to then, you know, do a grounding and centering technique to pull energy into the chakras, to clear the chakras or get them spinning, whatever it is they're looking to do energy healing on somebody else, to do energy healing themselves, to pair the breath with the visualization of the drawing in the energy and moving it to certain parts of the body is like you just took your energy game and turn it up to wee, like it's now on 11.
Yeah.
So
what would you recommend for people who can't visualize?
For me, for people who can't visualize, the knowing of it, because if you're not clairaudient, so you can't mentally visualize, the knowing of it, where like I'm intending that it goes to this place. And if it's a physical place, like you want it to say go to your heart, put one of your hands on your heart. If you want it to go to your third eye, put a finger on your third eye, wherever it is you want the energy to go, because the energy go where your energy will flow where your attention goes. So whether it's through your mental visualization or because you're putting your hand there to help you guide it, it doesn't matter. As long as you've got that intention and you're doing something to bring the attention to a certain place, that would be how I would do it, would be to kind of put your hand or touch or think where you want it to go, whether it's you're repeating the area like heart, you're thinking it in your mind, whatever it is. There are loads of ways to do it. You can even feel it like a heat or like a tingling, or some people feel it like almost like a water or like a wind. So whatever sort of sensation works for you, if you're non-visual, go with that.
And you could also combine tapping with it. Like instead of just touching, you could combine. That's what so somebody must need to hear this, because I heard if you can't, you can combine, even if you don't really, I haven't taken a tapping class, but I just do it naturally. And there's a lot of things that we all do naturally. You don't really know what you're doing. I would say that's coming from me and my guides. Go with whatever comes to you, because if you're told to tap, actually, I think my husband said that one time to me, like he's super intuitive, and we were talking about it, and he goes, you're supposed to and I'm like, oh, and it just came to me. So that's another way, of calling in the energy, probably, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because and you just did it without even, you used your whole hand instead of the tips of your fingers.
Yep.
And so when my guides were, when Ian would be working with me to help me clear chakras, he would have me, pat, like you just patted your chest. He would have me pat wherever it was, like my solar plexus. And it builds energy in that spot, because it's almost like when it sounds weird, but like if you smack a part of your body and blood flows there, it's kind of the energetic version of the same concept, but you're not smacking the crap out of yourself. you're just it's like a firm pat, but it does absolutely draw energy. Yeah, exactly.
So, and I found too that you can also other ways that I've actually been really drawn recently to sound healings and to sound energy, because if you have spiritual blocks as well, that's really been coming up for me lately. Like before I even do energy work on somebody, they have me do like a singing bowl, like a Tibetan bowl over them, or a crystal bowl or drum. And so there's so many different ways that people can start to break down those old paradigms. And breath work, there's so many different tapping, everybody, there's so many different things that you could tap into technically to help you to uncover your onion, so to speak.
Yes, peel off the layers of the onion. Yeah, totally. And there's also chanting, because you can do the sound healing from yourself if you feel so guided to do it. If like I couldn't whack a drum with rhythm to save my rhythm. Can I dance a rhythm? Yes. Can I bang a drum to a rhythm? No. But I can, gong a singing bowl. But they have me chant a lot, and you can either chant certain chants like Om or Om Mani Padme Hum, or whatever you feel guided to. But you can there are also chants, sounds, and how should I say this, like Lam, Ram, Vam, Yam, that all correlate to the specific chakras, but also certain tones, even just tones that correlate to the energetic system. And if you know the tones, you can tone those tones. So toning would I don't know if the microphone will pick this up. It might cut out, but it would kind of be like, I'm now high as a friggin' kite. Oh my God.
I felt that through my body. And the cool thing is when you do that, when you do those tones, even if you don't know exactly what, just try and get to because you can imagine a tone like that would be like probably the third eye or pineal.
That's a higher chakra.
Yeah, that's a higher chakra because it's a high bite. So, and it'll help clear your own, even singing. That's why I'll do just singing.
Absolutely.
The vibration will help clear your chakras, just going up and down, just like a vocal practice.
Yes. Well, and on top of that, it's great that you bring up just singing, because if you're singing and you're using your diaphragm when you sing, better yet, if you're using whole lung breathing when you sing, the vibration of the tone in your vocal cords and moving your diaphragm like that also massages the vagal nerve. And I'll tell you what, your vagal nerve plays an enormous role in raising your vibration and getting energy to move. So,
and it feels happy. It makes you feel happy when you're singing. Of course, I sing in the car. Who doesn't? But, singing in the car, wherever you are, it just makes you feel happy, helps you raise your vibration in that aspect too. Music that you like, that resonates with you.
Totally. Yeah.
So that's been so much fun. And I'm trying to make these short so that we don't go on and on, but I want to bring you back and keep doing this. So today you talked about so many cool things. And I want you to talk about yourself and how people can find you and what you do.
Oh, sure. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach, energy healing practitioner, and channeler, obviously, because I channel Ian, but I also channel the goddess Quan Yin. She's goddess of mercy. People can find me at www.angelenergyhealing.net. That's my website. I'm on Facebook as Jennifer Passavant, intuitive spiritual life coach and energy healing practitioner. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Angel Energy 44, but they can go there to my website or my Facebook page to sign up for a session, to book a session where I do either energetic healing sessions or I do intuitive spiritual life coaching sessions. So that's where if you have a specific issue that you just can't seem to get over, whether it's from childhood programming or, you can't figure out which direction to go in your career or, whatever it is, I've helped with numerous things, getting over grief. If you've got spiritual gifts that you don't know how to manage, you freaking name it. That's what the intuitive spiritual life coaching is for, where you get not just, coaching through it, but from a higher perspective. So I'm given intuitively a higher perspective of where you can go or what the issue is and how to work with it. So they can book either of those types of sessions. So.
And you have amazing energy. Thank you. Yes. So and it's so cool and that's another reason of bringing people on, talking about their experiences, their knowledge and wisdom, because you teach me something every time I talk to you because you're so knowledgeable. You're like a book. It's like you keep it up.
A lot of people say that, and I just have this weird ability to retain stuff. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Only if it's like weird, interesting stuff, like holistic stuff and weird spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
It's in there.
And so it's so cool because you have so much knowledge. I want to bring you back on, talk about lots of different things like fairies and fae and all the different stuff that we can do. So yes, let's do it. Okay. Sounds so much fun. And I love it. And that's that's what I was going for. Sorry. And then I squirreled, but it's so cool because bringing different people on here and talking to you, you may resonate with somebody that they're like, oh my God, I got to meet that girl. I got to have a session with her. I need her to teach me. So everybody has everybody's looking for their mentor, and that's what we're all here for. Is
Yeah.
they may not resonate with me or somebody else, but they may resonate with you. So if you resonate with Jennifer, find her and have a session with her, because she's quite amazing.
Well, and we both offer things, everybody offers things in different ways. And so either it's you resonate with one and not the other, or it's I got to learn this and earn this aspect from that person. And I got this and learned that aspect from that person. So we're on the same team.
Yes. And you helped me immensely when I was going through trying to figure out how to create a business. Oh my goodness, that was not easy. I didn't know the first thing, and you helped me so much on all of that and on my path. And we had some experiences together that were interesting, but we got through together.
You sure did.
Learning about boundaries and learning about stuff and learning about how to trust your intuition, and so, yeah. And so we went through some of that stuff together. So it's been a wonderful journey with you, and I love you so much.
Yes, I love you. I love you too so much. Thank you.
Okay,
so much for having
you're
me.
so welcome. So again, find Jennifer on her website or any of the ways that she said, and we're going to sign off, and we'll be coming back soon. Love you all so much. Thank you, Jennifer, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.